Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator, Everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. So, wait, that was something, I saw a reflection of something. Huh. So, guys, I've been on a roll making videos, but then some things happen sometimes. I get distracted here. And, with everything, my parents and all that. But I'm back. There was news about Peter Thiel moving to Argentina. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I never left you. Oh, through my wild days. No, poor Eva Peron. I'm sorry. She has to deal with this thing. Now, okay. I know. I need to reply to people. I used to do readings more often, and I basically I have an office that I don't go to all the time, but that's the only place I could do readings. So that's why I need to change my schedule a little bit, but I just am not able to do that anymore, pretty much. I mean, just briefly. So I apologize to some people made appointments, but I need to reply to them. But it's basically, I can only do pretty much 1 or 2 days. It was very limited hours. So I try to do I do like a one reading per week these days, really. So that's that. I just can't. When I lived in New York, it's funny. I still want to go back. I still want to go back more often, but right now, right, because of the situation, because of Trump. If Trump wasn't around, I would be going back and forth much more easily. I just can't. You know what it is? I can't afford to put myself at risk because I have responsibilities now towards my parents. So anyway, the point is that when I was in New York, I used to have calls at home, and there's this boundary, that was like a lack of boundaries, and now I can't do that anymore. It has to be, I only talk to people at the office because I could be interrupted here, and the internet is great. I make videos now with this app that comes in the computer that does not need the internet, so that it doesn't get interrupted. So that's how it is. It's unreliable. So anyway, the point is here. The point here that I'm making is that I'm just back to make the video, and that what was I making? I was just making the point about the reading. So I need to update my website. I need to maybe at another time, another slot. But that's it. Things have changed. So, all right. Okay. So interesting information. Interesting information. Okay. Now let's talk about Peter Thiel going to Argentina. Now the news, this had already come out, but this news in the New York Times is very interesting because it clearly was sourced from people close to him. And I feel like he's sending a message, okay, that basically it's an okay for Vance to be pushed out, I think, which I had already discussed, but let's talk about it more. Okay, so let's look at the headline. Hey, so why Peter Thiel is decamping to the end of the world. Billionaires' new roots in Argentina are said to be partly motivated by concerns about the future of the United States and shared beliefs of Argentina's right-wing leader. I'm going to read some passages from the article because, the article is not that long, but I don't need to know all the details. The important parts are that he is enrolling his kids in school there, and that he is framing this as moving to Argentina because of taxes. And it's kind of BS to me personally. I don't believe it. I think it's just aware of the fact that things have not gone in the direction he, I guess, has hoped for. I think it's all BS, this thing of, oh, California, you have to pay taxes. I want to know the real reason for it. And I think he's basically abandoned J.D. Vance. And there's a lot of really interesting memes about this, but it's funny. But let's just read this first. So I am adding the screenshots, not necessarily in the correct order, just just write the parts that are interesting. So Mr. Thiel has also been energized by what he's discovered in Argentina, finding harmony with Mr. Milei, that's Argentina's president, libertarian slash and burn governance, and becoming enamored with Buenos Aires' vibrancy. The people said they and others familiar with the billionaire's activities and discussions about the country spoken the condition of anonymity to share private conversations. Mr. Thiel did not respond to a request for comment. Underscoring his belief in the country, Mr. Thiel has temporarily relocated his family to Argentina and enrolled his children in a local school, two of the people said. The Argentine government has also explored offering millionaire permanent residence or even citizenship, a person familiar with Mr. Thiel's plan said, though it's currently unclear whether he would accept. Okay. Now, to me, this part about him enrolling kids in school, it's a big deal. Okay. And here's this part about I just don't really buy it. His new roots in Argentina are partially motivated by his concerns about the direction of the United States. The people familiar with his thinking say, particularly California, where an initiative on November's ballot could lead to a significant tax on billionaires. Okay. Really? All right. And it's interesting, right, that there is no mention in the article about like the most obvious thing, which is what about JD Vance? I mean, you bankrolled the guy. Trump could go, and where are you? But no, nothing. Okay. Nothing. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Now let's see. Yeah, I don't want to, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't need to go into details because honestly, it doesn't really matter. So, now let's do the protection. I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources that create the good and all the good, and so it is. Now, I also want to mention, I'm sure everybody knows this, right? That Argentina is the country that's best known for harboring NAZIs after World War II. A lot of prominent NAZIs moved there, including Mengele, right? The famous doctor who led medical experiments. And he was captured eventually over there, actually in Argentina. And it's weird, like, I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think his attraction really is. Okay. Because in a way, like, that Peter Thiel, when like his dad went to work as a mining engineer in South Africa from Germany, he was enrolled in a German NAZI school, or they used to have a school in his town. I don't know if it's still like this now, but they used to do the Heil whatever, right, thing. So I think to him, I think it's a NAZI fascination. That's what I think. But it's also an acknowledgement that things, whatever he wants, whatever things he wants, it's not working. Okay. And he knows something is going down, and he's not around. And he's a coward, right? But that's what he is. But let's look into him, okay? All right. Okay, so what is the real reason for him to be moving to Argentina? He's already moved. I mean, he has enrolled the kids in school. And why is he broadcasting this in the New York Times? We know that supposedly they hate the press, but clearly the people that are the source for this article are close to him. So what's going on here? Why is he there? Okay, I see him playing chess. By the way, he's always played chess since he was young, really young. So he's like, oh, playing chess. And now, okay, I've wrecked the US. Let me go somewhere else because they may figure out that it was me. They may figure out that it was me. I don't like it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't like it. So, okay, so he's escaping accountability, yes. And what about the idea of this? No, it's saying he can pay taxes. He doesn't like the red states. That's the other thing. He is bored by the red states. And by the way, the article said that he has an art dealer. Like I'm not saying there's a lot of art collectors that are right wingers, but I'm sorry. If is he gonna go to find it? Does it make sense what I'm saying? He likes, he's not like, he's an internationalist in a way. It's so hypocritical because he likes a lot of the comforts of the liberal type of societies, right? And yet the stuff he preaches is like, you know what I mean? And it's like he wants all the benefits of all the liberal societies, but he doesn't like everybody else to have the benefits, basically. So, okay, so then I see he's sure I don't know anything about chess, to be honest. I see that he has one of the chess pieces that is knocking out something. It's like, oh, I think he thinks the US is going to crash down. So he needs to it's like, it's the whole idea truly that he thinks the world's going to collapse. So the AI bubble is going to collapse and he has to be somewhere else. He needs to escape accountability. Okay, that's it. And that's so what it that's his escaping. And I see that he's essentially almost cut ties with JD Vance. Like, seriously, he doesn't even think of JD Vance. It's not an issue. He's not thinking of that. So, wow, okay, so that's what I get here. Now, I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions that, as you know, I like to do the deep dive. But I want, like, but I think that's gonna come up. So that's essentially, I think, has to do with the idea of economic collapse, the collapse of the AI bubble. And it's saying he knows that and by the way, that what he has bet on is that things are going to collapse. By the way, I studied Peter Thiel for years now. When he first was on pay, that he was a payball guy. One of the investors that he really doesn't like to this day, I'm not naming names, doesn't matter. He asked this investor, who was a venture capitalist who had put money into PayPal, to get $100 million to bet against the economy. And the guy was like, "Are you kidding me? This is illegal. You can't just stake money and do something crazy like that." So he held a grudge against this man because he stopped him from doing that. Then in 2008, he had a hedge fund called Clarium Capital that had also bet on the collapse of the on like no bailouts and everything collapsed. He also failed then, and now he's much more involved in creating an actual collapse. And I see, interesting, I've always thought that he created this bubble and created this froth, knowing that it was going to have to collapse. The whole, the AI bubble, the data centers, all that. He knows that there's no, like, he's pushing it to the brink. He's not alone in this, but he knows this. So he feels like it's like he's an agent of death, like, really. He's like, oh, things are gonna collapse, so I can go somewhere else while this happens. And I feel like, it's interesting. I don't pick up that he's particularly connected to Trump or to JD Vance anymore. Okay, and it's saying where is it? To him, these were just bets. They were objects. They're not, he's a psychopath. He doesn't see people as people. It's like, oh, this is an object. I can discard it. I've seen how it works, and now I could do something else. So it's saying that as his footprints are observed, and it's saying he's getting a lot more attention than he would have liked, he's going somewhere else. But it's essentially, it's like both a rat like mentality, with this, when the light shines upon him, he runs away, escaping accountability and feeling like, oh, everything's gonna collapse. Great, I need to go somewhere else to watch it from afar. I don't feel like he's like, oh yeah, he loves. No, I don't think he cares that much about Malay. It's just a means to an end. But what is the end here? That's right. I think it's, again, he sees, it's like, at the same time, this is why is the whole, like, strategist, chess player kind of guy, whatever. He puts his chips on the Trump thing, but he doesn't, like, his heart, not that he has one, I don't know, is not in it. He doesn't really respect Trump, and he feels like Trump is doing what he wants, which is the collapse. But then he can just walk away. Does it make sense? He doesn't really believe it completely. So it's saying he's a person who likes to work behind the scenes and like trigger things, but not take responsibility for them when they don't work out. Okay. So that's it. Let's see what the cards say. All right. I had to do some digging here for the computer because it was changing the display when I tilt the computer, so that was sucked. Really. So now it's not, so I can do because I tilt the computer so I can do the cards, but if I can still kind of see like how the cards appear on the screen. It was starting to just look completely dark, and that doesn't work for me because I just need to be able to like, see the cards to make sure that they're on the right, they are appearing at the time. Okay, so what's going on? Why did Peter Thiel leave for like why did he move to Argentina and why is he putting this out in the New York Times? Okay, battle. Oh no, look, energy, swift energy, things are falling apart. End of this thing, right? He's a nice man, isn't he? Good at the guy. Good at the guy. No, he's not. Just can't believe it. Just gross. Like, oh my god, the glare. It bothers me, the glare. But oh my god. Okay, so why is he leaving? Like almost like he's lighting the match. Why is he leaving? Why has he left for Argentina? Great fortune. Okay. Sudden wealth. Like this is casino type money. Occupation work. So interesting. You know how the AI people are like, oh, there's no more jobs. It's over. Okay. But it's interesting that he seems to be afraid, right? It's like, and in a way, maybe that I think he knows that something along the lines of like the political winds are not gonna allow him to get away with this. And truly, I think in a way, let's see here. So why is he moving to Argentina? It's saying it's about money. Stars now. Again, we talked about how this card, in light of where we are, right, with Starlink and the discussions, I think of it as it's also a card of his dream, but it could be Starlink, really, definitely. Lily's experienced. The snake is the spy. So, okay. Older man, the retirement. Also, retire, hide, be in peace with the whole, right? Trying to hide, I think. The snake, right? The snake that creates the downfall. Now, the foe I talk about it sometimes, that the female card that is the enemy means the person in your environment, right? Joy, oh my God, celebration, oh my God, gross. Fake friend, interesting, right? Because it's this, the friend upside down here and the snake, very connected, right? So he is a fake. Now, I've said this before, he's connected to Arf also, right? So he is a snake and he is not and has not never been in our side, really, right? He's been planted to take everything down. And if you think of the occupation, in a way, the economy, right? And also here, he's making money from the collapse, right? The collapse that he's engineered. Now, I'm not saying the collapse will happen. That's the question. It's all up. I'm one of the people who believes that the question is everything. Okay. So the question was, why is he leaving? He's leaving because he thinks there's going to be a collapse. He's involved in creating this collapse and he could be held accountable. So he's leaving because I think because of justice. It's a just here. Okay. So it's so weird. Like nothing showing about JD Vance. It's saying JD Vance was a tool. Okay, so let's see now. Let's see the question. So the next question is, let's see. Now, this next question really is about the specificity of his own, like, the cards here, right? It said it suggested very much that he is a spy or has been working against our interests, and he knows that he's made money from this, and the money could be quote unquote taken away or and those kinds of things. Now, so then what I want to know is what exactly has he done according to himself, not to us, right? We read stuff about Palantir and all that, but I'm asking, what has he done from his perspective to engineer the collapse he sees? Does he know he's under an investigation, that he will face a specific kind of accountability? Does it make sense? So that's what I'd like to know. So, I see he's counting money to himself. It's saying pump and dumps, like the AI bubble. It's like he thinks that the thing is going to collapse and he's bad against it. He's made money until as far as he could, and he thinks it's going to go down. And it's pretty overt. And then I see Russians, and I see like a remote control, and say he's involved in the election interference also. Wow. Okay. Well, the whole story about Palantir bought this. It's a long story, guys. This will hold talks about it. There was the whole thing with tabulator is that there's a very specific charger kind of that it has to be connected to. And this specific charger connects to the internet. Like not directly. It's very complicated to explain, but Palantir bought a company that sells these, I guess, transformers. I don't know the name exactly, but it's very specific connectors to energy. So they bought this company. And there was a company that Leonard Leo had. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's true. You need to look it up. I don't have the time right now to like look into it, but it's true. So anyway, so going back here, that's what he knows is he's involved with all this. He has his fingerprints are all over this, and he knows. But we still have to ask about J Vance. But let's go back here to this specific part. So according to the cards, what has he? Okay, an expected income. What has he done now? So. This can also mean unexpected. It's not to be income. See, this is the card that means election. An expected outcome. The election will be recognized. Here is, okay, purse here. Okay, now servant, people close to him. He gave the advisors. Essentially, doctor is a professional advice. Advisors. Wedding. Now, this is a card of deals. It's not love, right? It's like marriage. So the people that he's involved with, his employees or people, let's say the Doge people, a lot of these people are involved in this. Okay, treachery, right? Treachery. Okay, offer visitation. Now he could be the one who offered, who brought up this thing about the election. Guys, in a letter, information. This could also mean votes. Now there was a video. I think he might have it on this Will Holtz. An amazing video of him talking in 2010 that they knew it was like he was very passionate about it. He was saying something like, "We know we can't win election in terms of popularity, but through technological means we can do it." So he was like very focused on this. And that's what I think this means. Okay. That he is involved. He planned like the big picture part of it. Okay. Here is aggression. Wow. Painful ending. Really. Chariot. Now, this is a card of winning, but this is a card of manipulation, going too far, over controlling, right? So I think he knows that his advisors are involved in this, and that eventually it will reach him. So fascinating. And this part is interesting because the cards aren't so as focused on the economy as the other cards were. Now, what's interesting is that I'm getting here psychically that he's abandoning all these people that felt that like were following him. He doesn't care. That's what's remarkable is that he used everybody, the people that work for him, everybody. He's only saving himself. He's not saving anybody else. So that's the interesting part. Wow. Wow. That's, guys, I was like gathering some energy because, long story. Took me a while to get, I'm a person that gets more energized in the evening, but It's very interesting. So, let's ask the next question really is, what is going to happen then? Okay, because clearly he sees this thing, he's running away from it, but what will actually happen? Okay, so this part of the question is, what will actually happen versus what he thinks will happen, right? So he's doing this based on this idea that he's gonna, like, that there'll be a blowback, that things will collapse. And so, and he doesn't, like, he's excited about the prospect of a collapse, but what is actually going to happen versus, this makes sense, he had an idea of what's going to happen. What will actually happen now that he's in Argentina? Wow, it's saying interesting. Shows me the Trump and the tower card. I was going to say the Trump card. It's like Trump collapsing, the whole government collapsing. It's a house of cards, and it's saying they want to collapse the government, and he sees the government collapsing. But interesting, it shows me like the Federal Reserve staying and the financial staying steady, like staying, like they will be able, whoever is going to be able to save it will be able to save it. And people are going to be arrested faster than he thought, and his friends. Interesting. So he sees on TV that people are going to go down, and people he knows and recognizes, and they're going to rat him out. I mean, they were stupid enough to fall for him, for his crap. So, okay, and then I see eventually, I actually was talking to Karina about it earlier today, and I was telling her that I saw this noise, like he's there in Buenos Aires, and then like there's a sound of an explosion, and it's like government of like the cops getting him. And Argentina, like, I'm in Brazil, right? He's unsafe because of like the risk. People that are very, very wealthy are under risk of kidnapping, but I think he's a fool if he thinks that he is safe, permanently safe in Argentina. He's too rich in a way, right? And I think he's been involved with Russians and all kinds of people. So there's a lot of people hunting for him, and he's open and overt about it. So wow, so very interesting. But let's see what the cards say now about this. Okay? So what is going to happen actually? First, okay. Condition focus. Trying to move on. World plans. Okay. The dog, the allies of friends, man, recognizes. Now, interesting. The dog is an ally. No, so I said before, this Lenormand has two cards for each man, woman, or child, and that one is, I wonder, I was like a person, but I think it's a good person recognized. Okay, so well, despair. Despair. Okay, enemy exposed. Okay, that's upside down. Also, this card could mean trying to escape, right? It's trying to move on, but also trying to leave, travel away. Sigh. Oh, can't. It didn't quite work out. No. What is missing? Oh, this. Okay. Thoughts, ideas. Okay, or like we talked about in his plans. Okay, so desperation. Dog. Focus on money. Desperate ideas. Oh, prison. Interesting. There's going to be prison for the end. That's right. There will be arrests. And I see again people close to him will be arrested. It's saying because they're involved with Russians. And I see Macron and NATO, they may know about this. Okay, let's see. That's it. False person. This pattern of like liars and, right? Imprisonment of the false people. Thoughts, I mean, this thoughts could be ideas, could be fears, what he's thinking about. Okay, so it didn't say no, and I'm seeing also like it didn't collapse. It didn't collapse. No, no, no. And I see that he's seeing the news of his VC firm being raided. That's interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. So interesting. Interesting. Okay, so the next part of the question is this article a sign that Peter Thiel has abandoned JD Vance? Say yes. He's already told him that he was leaving, and that And he's saying like, I feel like he's kind of telling him, you have some Russians around, but I'm done for now. Like and he's saying he's that type of person. That's it. You're on your own, basically. Yes. And that's right. He's not, I see like he's not loyal like he was only loyal to JD Vance until he got to power. And then he was like, oh, maybe he's like, oh, a nice concept. And he moves around, he goes to something else. And I mean, JD Vance is not somebody that anybody really respects, right? I mean, it's not complicated. So really, I thought JD Vance was a really brilliant man that got to where he is because of the sheer power of his intellect and personality. No. So yes, yes. He's saying, and I see that it's also a sign of him giving like telling Trump that he's not going to put up a fight or that he's not like intervening in any way. Okay, so let's see. And then let's see okay. Family room, something private, concern. Oh, concerning. Message. Okay, so privately. And I get also, as I see these cards, that the people that are worried are people that are close to him. They're like, wait, he's abandoned us? Big consolation, big prize here. Okay, so here, big prize, gift. Now, this is bribe. Okay, bribe. Frivolity, lightweight, but also can mean transfer. There's a financial transfer here. And I see that it could be blocked. Okay, here, trying to collect money, but interesting. Not able to. Oh wow, money upside down. There's finding. Wow, can he not withdraw money? Find it hard to believe. Oh, very interesting. Now this is a great card for this. This is a card of fighting, but when it's upside down, it means factions. Like after the fighting, right? There's these separate groups that are fighting for power. Okay, so here we have. Oh no, the death guard. Okay, the sickle removal. Mm-hmm. Talking. This is bots, but also. Okay, just another one. Okay, here. Oh, wow. Chatter. Okay, bots. Election. This is a card of election. So that's it. Removal. This is stuff is coming out. Letter about. Oh, could be the transfers. That's right. Stuff is coming out. And it's interesting. The question was, is he abandoning J.D. Vance? There's not even a card of a man here. There's nothing. It's like he's basically trying to collect his bets, right? He's cashing out basically. It's over. And I think he thinks the information about the election is going to come out. And he's been told, yes. So interesting. Wow. It's saying he's paid up a lot of people in different governments and he's been told it's a thing. Wow. Interesting. Sad for him. Sad for him. No. Okay. The next question is how does JD Vance feel now? Okay. So the next question is how does JD Vance feel and what will he do? He's He's like, he thought he was special, and he thought that Peter had picked him because he saw a big talent in him, and it turns out he was just a tool. He was just an object. And so he's like quickly realizing it, and the wife is helping him kind of come to his senses. But I think it's too late. And it's like, it's funny, I've had this before, I think in a different context. I've always seen that he thought that the presidency was within his grasp, and he still feels like, no, but I could be president. I could be president. But it just slips away from him, really. I don't think that there's anything he could do. So he's going to have to go with the broke because, again, he was a puppet. He just didn't know. He thought he was special. He was just a puppet. And now he's going to have to go. Okay, so let's see. So how does JD Vance feel and what will he do? House, the White House? Oh no, despair. Journey. He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to depart. Here he is on a trip. There's his luggage. Not hiring, huh? Not hiring? Not hiring, said for him. He's such a competent guy. I love him. Don't you think he's great? Oh, the blonde guy. He's blonde, man. Chaos. Interesting. This is a card of change. Upside down chaos. Okay, the interesting. You know what? I feel like this card sometimes symbolizes the kids. So not the right somebody's celebrating. I'll tell you who's not. Not him. Hope. Okay. Thief up caught. Okay. Caught exiting. Chaos here. Desperation. Wow, now upside down scholar is the card of the person, the information, right? So there's information, negative information here. And mice means hacking or losses for a long time. So, okay. So also suggests that there's news coming. Now we know, guys, how there has been this coming out from the Trump camp that like a lot of honestly conservative quote unquote networks that saying like no no there's like influencers, I guess. I see these random accounts saying, "Oh, JD Vance has been caught as the leaker." So this could be a card of that kind of hacker leaker type person for a long time. News about this, news about the information, and he's going to have to depart again. Not hiring, right? Desperation, chaos. The guy caught something. The thief was like something left through the window, and for a long time he has been sharing information. So I think he's pushed out and blamed as a leaker of sorts, right? Even though Trump is very corrupt, right? But I feel like that's very interesting. Okay, all right. So the next, I feel like now. So what happens to Peter Thiel's own allies? Like, no, what happens to Palantir actually now that he is gone from the U.S.? Okay, so the next question is, what happens to Palantir now? Interesting. I see these contracts being ripped. And that guy, it's I guess the CEO, Alex Karp, trying to leave, trying to jump, and then he's stopped. And I see this giant like lever being pulled down. It's saying once Trump goes, then they're gonna turn off, rip the contracts because there's like they're working against the US, really. There's the whole data theft project is a thing. So wow, very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Big, big. Sad for them. I love Palantir. A great company. So what's going to happen to Palantir now? Woman, this is meetings. Lovers, really? Hmm. Okay, distant horizons. You know what? I wonder if it has something to do with Epstein, actually, because the cards here, this card could mean a meeting, but it's also could mean SEX, and here is also sex. It could be spy or love, like something SEX related. A merchant is a businessman. The White House upside down, right? When the house goes down, woman. Interesting. Women are back. Women are back, baby. Service upside down. Now, this is the servant who is not like a fake servant. Let's see. Okay, so they're catching, right? The people that are close to him. Like I said before, this is a guard and something public. This could also mean IPO. Okay, again, twice the White House in public. Clouds could mean hidden, or clouds like cloud computing, or even the data centers thing. Okay, because it's public house for clouds, right? So, oh, the Wheel of Fortune upside down, things go down. Okay. Now, this is a fake, this is a card of like, kind of like a guy who's like courting you, but it's nothing serious. He's just a scoundrel. That's like that vibe, but not, if you think of it as business, it's all fake, right? Executing plans. So that's right. It's saying, what I'm getting as I'm reading this too, that they are on everybody's list, right? Because everybody sees what they've done. Palantir is just what a horrible company it is. Many, many countries are against it, but they're embedded in everything. And it's telling me, Rosie, all everybody has to do is just start them off. Really. Stop fearing and just do something. So, and that's it. It's saying that I'd say in a couple of years, it will take a little while to really arrest people, turn off the companies and all that, but it will not, there's not going to be much left of his business empire in a few years, to say. Because it's like if he had remained invisible, he's decided to change the fate of the world. And that has consequences. Because really, it's either the world survives or him, right? This is how evil the guy is. So All right. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon. Love you.